All right, Hare Krishna. So I'm so happy to meet all of you here again. Today is Tuesday, 5th May 2026. Tuesday, 5th May 5526. So we have gathered here to continue our discussion, starting a new chapter today, Canto 1, Chapter 5. So Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. Okay, so before we do that, let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swapantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttaparakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarjadam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijara Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhana Videvidaitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Viknanadayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigraya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Tarine Rupanuga Viruda Pasitanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambu Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhava Bhume Stvam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vancha Kalpata Rubhyascha Kripa Sindhube Vacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratise Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nangayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirai Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Vishnupada Krishna Krishna Gita Vishnu Vijay Pratap Swami Namali Namacharya Pradaya Nittai Kripa Pradaya Gaura Kada Damadaya Nagara Gramatari. All right, so devotees, so welcome. As I said, today we are gathered here to discuss chapter 5. Chapter 5, the topic is Narada instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. So now is the time that the glimpse of Bhagavatam, what Vyasadeva is supposed to speak, and Narada gave instruction. Okay, now this is the topics that you should talk and listen. All right. So, so far we have already done 4 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. So first of all, we started with what they call the sages, the questions by the sages. So then they welcome Sutta Goswami. Then after that, they also spoke on divinity and divine service. Then eventually spoke on Krishna as the source of all incarnation. And out of all the incarnations, the best incarnation is, the Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam was also an incarnation of Krishna. And in last chapter, the appearance of Narada. So we understood Sutta Goswami explaining who are the speakers. Okay, first of all, who is Narada? Who is Vyasadeva, and where he's born to which parents? Then after that, then about Parikshit Maharaj and why the thing happened. So all these things were questioned in text chapter 4. Okay, now in chapter 5, now Sutta Goswami is coming to the point of starting the history of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken? What is the intention? Because the sages all asked, come on, such a great king, why you need to go through such a terrible, what they call curse? And even he's a Raja Rishi, he can counteract the curse. But yet he did not counteract the curse, but yet he renounced everything and wanted to hear Srimad Bhagavatam so he can go back. So before that, he had all that assembly of sages, on all the rishis all came and advised him. But he made a decision, yes, I think I want to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam, and address Sukadeva Goswami, and like that, the thing is happened. So that is the history of how everything started. All right. Okay. Now when you come to chapter 5, so in chapter 5, what we're going to understand is Narada is going to, okay, then after that they talk about Narada, all right, how Narada started and everything. Then he came and approached Vyasadeva, because Vyasadeva seems not to be happy, despite compiling the entire thing, but yet he feels like he's not happy. Something is not right. Something is like in the heart is like, putting him upset. Then in that spiritual confession, so he felt something confess, So then Narada Muni start to appear, and the chapter 5 going to begin. All right. And I would like to welcome every one of you. And who is Honor LGN NX1? Who's this, please? Honor LGN NX1. I don't want to call you Honor Prabhu or Honor Mataji. What's your name? You can unmute yourself. Honor, HONOR LGN NX1. I think he or she doesn't know how to unmute or change. All right. Anyway, no problem. So if at all, yes, I.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It's me, Ananda Sundari. I lost my phone, so I have to rename. I'm driving, so I didn't type.
Oh, okay. Who's on the line, please?
Ananda Sundari, Prabhu. Ananda Sundari.
Ananda Sundari Mataji. Okay, right. Okay, I'll change I'll rename you.
No. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Krishna. Ananda Sundari. Okay, Ananda Sundari. All right. So let's start our today's new chapter here. Okay, where is it? Okay, so today we're starting a new one. Chapter 5 is going to be a very interesting chapter. And this chapter is all right. Okay, Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. Text 1. Sutta vacha atatang sukam asina upasinam brahachrava brhak. Okay, brhachrava cha. See ya, cha. So brhachrava cha chrava. Devarishi praha viprarishim Veena Pani Smayanniva. So there's a double N. So we just combine this word. So Smayanniva. Okay. Sutta Vacha Atatang sukamasina upasinam brahachrava devarishi praha viprarshim Vina pani smayanniva Atatang sukamasina upasinam brahachrava devarishi praha viprarshim Vina pani smayanniva Atatang sukama asina upasinang brahachrava devarishi praha viprarishim Vina pani smayanniva. Okay, anyone like to start? Recite the verse. Go, Klish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, try.
Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
Sudha uvacha atatam sukamasina upasinam brahachravaha devarishi praha viprarshim
Yes, nice.
veena panihi smayaniva.
Smayanniva, all right. Okay, but Prabhu, this is not sutta. Sudha uvacha. Sutta, right? Okay, Mangala Rukmini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sutta uvacha.
Sutta uvacha.
Sutta uvacha. Adatam sukham asina upasinam prahaksheva devarishi praha viprasim vinapani smayan iva.
All right, nice. Next. Anyone?
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Sakhi Mataji, yes.
Tuta uvacha atatam sukam asina upasinam brahachravaha devarasi prahaviprasim vinapane smayaniva.
All right. So this is not praha. And this is vina panihi.
Vina panihi.
No, not vina. Vina.
Vina panihi.
Pani. Vina pani. Vina pani. Guys. All right. Next. Anyone else?
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Sudha uvacha atatam sukum asina vasina bricharavaha devasi praha viprasim vina pani samahin iva.
Yes, nice. Anyone else?
Sudha
Yes,
uvacha atatam sukam asina upasinam brahachravaha devarshi praha viprashim vinapani smayaniva. Hare
yes.
Krishna.
The word here is Vipra and Rishi. So Vipra Rishi. So that means we just, that's why they combine the word. So we just divide the word Vipra and Rishi. So there's an M at the back to pause, just like a comma. So Vipra Rishi. Okay. Yes, nice. Anyone else? Is that all? Okay. Sutta vacha atatang sukamasina upasinang brahachrava devarishi praha viprarishim vina pani smayanniva. Sutta vacha said ata, therefore tam him sukam asina. Sukam asina means comfortably seated. Sukham means comfortable. Asina in Tamil also we call asanam, right? The asanam, the place to sit. Upasinam. And after that, being unto one sitting nearby. Brahat Shrava, greatly respected. Deva Rishi. Okay, the great Rishi among the gods or demigods. Praha said. Vipra Rishim. Okay, Vipra Rishi means unto the Rishi among the Brahmana. Vipra means Brahmana, right? Vipra. Okay, we have studied right? First, we have to become a Brahmana, then we have to become Vipra. First, we go to Vipra, then we come into the level of Brahmana. So, Vipra means unto the rishis among Brahmanas. Veena panihi, one who carries veena. Okay, veena means veenai. Unto the hand, smayan iva, apparently smiling. Translation?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, go ahead, Mati.
Sutta Goswami said, thus the sage among the gods, Narada, comfortably seated and apparently smiling, addressed the rishi amongst the Brahmanas, Vedavyasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So now, Sutta Goswami said, now after that, now he started. He said, thus the sage among the gods, Narada Muni. That's why they call Deva Rishi. Okay. Why? Nobody have that Deva Rishi, the title Deva. Deva means Devargal or demigods. So Narada, that means among the rishis, he's the topmost. Okay, he's the topmost, or they call Deva Rishi. So now what he did, he comfortably seated and apparently smiling. He sat and he smiled. Try to visualize. You know, seeing the disciples so confused, he'll just smile, okay, kind of smile, right? And address the rishi among the Brahmanas. So now, who he addressed? He addressed the rishis among the Brahmanas, Vedavyasa. So what we can understand from here? So we understand from here, Narada is rishi among the gods, and Vyasadeva is rishi among the Brahmanas. All right, so that's the thing. Okay, so the Deva Rishi is addressing a Vipra Rishi, or the rishis among the Brahmanas. Okay, now let's look at the translation. Narada was smiling because he well knew the great sage Vyasadeva and the cause of his disappointment. That is what spiritual master is all about. In spiritual master, just give me a second. Let me close this. Okay. So when you look at this spiritual master is a personality where he just knew what is happening in your life. Okay. Because as what we have, if you have studied that Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 1, the title is Spiritual Master. In that Spiritual Master, Kaviraj Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami will give a very thorough explanation. So the Chaitya Guru in the heart will appear in front of you as your Diksha Guru. So Guru is Krishna. Guru is Krishna. And what Krishna is this? Now when we see, this Prakriti is Krishna. This material nature is Krishna. But what Krishna is this? What energy is that? External energy. And we are also Krishna. But what energy we have? We have marginal energy. And we are minute. So we cannot go and claim ourselves as God. We are minute. Right? And when you look at Ladini energy, that is Krishna, because that is internal energy. So everything is Krishna. Everything is Krishna, Vishnu. Everything is there. So now the same thing here, when Krishna wants to give you a special mercy, like in chapter 11, Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand what Krishna says. Behold all these things. And Arjuna will be wondering, behold what? He said, behold all these things, behold this, behold that, behold. And Arjuna will be wondering, behold what? Look at this. Then after that, Krishna says, well, you don't have you need to have a divine eye to see this. Now I give you a divine eyes. When the eyes were divine eyes, that means just like a cataract, it's just like a tear, the thing of it's just what they call as though the curtain has been opened. So when he got the divine eyes, when he saw that Virat Rupa, and Arjuna got a shock. So similarly, Krishna, he doesn't come to us in his original form because we cannot conceive the form. Secondly, we will be shocked. Like example, like Dhruva Maharaj, when he was meditating upon Lord Narayana, when Narayana appeared in front of him, he was like dumbfounded. He doesn't know what to do. He became like overwhelmed. So similarly, Krishna comes to us in the form of Guru, the form that we are comfortable, the form that we are familiar. We are familiar with human form. Imagine suddenly a person, Krishna appears in front of you as a form of Narayana in a forearm. What will you be thinking? Oh my God. Despite all these things, despite all the understandings, whenever Narayana or Krishna appears in front of us, they will be dumbfounded. They'll be dumbfounded. Therefore, Krishna, when he gives you a mercy, he appears in front of you as a Diksha Guru, as a Guru, whether Diksha or Siksha. So the Guru is Krishna. That's why we worship Guru like Krishna. But of course, when the Guru thinks he's Krishna, that's it, gone case. Okay, we sing in the morning, Sansara Dava Nalalita Loka. First thing in the morning, you worship Guru. Actually, you're worshipping the mercy form of Krishna. You know? So, we have understood, I think I have discussed this earlier, why the Ashtakala, the eight kala of Krishna. 8 kalas. So the final kala starts at 12 midnight to 3 a.m. 12 midnight to 3 a.m. is the most ecstatic kala in Krishna's pastime, where Lord Krishna will be having an amorous pastime with Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani, and that's the most highest ecstatic exchange, Parakyaras. In that highly ecstatic exchange, the one who set the scene, the setup, the place, Yoga Maya create that environment. She's a director. And Tulasi Maharani, Vrinda Devi, she is the manager. She managed it. She managed the place, the groove, with all this fragrant flower. You know, she is the one manage it. All that gopis all will be assisting her, so she will manage everything. She set up the place. And then after that, of course, the gopis will be going calling, hey Krishna, Radha is waiting for you. So something like that. So now, after that Ras, both Krishna and Radha will be in great ecstasy. Great ecstasy. That is 12 midnight to 3 in the morning. After that great ecstatic exchange, all right, that's when starts Brahma Muhurta. Prabhupada set the standard at 4 a.m. But of course, they say that Brahma Muhurta starts at 1.5 hours before the sunrise. But we, ISKCON devotees, we try to wake up earlier than that. So at that moment, 3 o'clock, something like that, you just get up after that setting the scene. After that Parakyaras, both of them will be getting ready to go back. But at that moment, they will be in great ecstasy. And at that 4 o'clock in the morning, you start to worship Guru. Okay, first you start to do this Tulasi Puja. Guru, you start to worship, say you worship Tulasi. So being Tulasi is being that is so much, the Lord has been so much in ecstasy and so thankful to Tulasi Maharani. You know, thanking Tulasi Maharani, thanking Vrinda Devi, thank you so much. You know, she'll be like so much in gratitude. At that moment, when you start to worship Tulasi, early in the morning, it gives you all the benefits in the world. Krishna bestows. But at the same time, what made you to worship all these things? Tulasi, I mean, in the form of Guru. That's why first we start with singing Sansara Dava Nalalita Loka Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatmam Praptasya Kalyana Gunana Vaishya Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravindam Mahaprabhu Kir. You worship the Guru. Because how Krishna going to bestow the mercy? That means after Krishna having this very nice, beautiful, enriching, exciting pastime, when you go and ask Krishna, how are you going to come? So you start to worship the Guru, you are getting the benefit. Because when you look at this verse, there's a final verse, verse 9, that we don't study, we don't read, but I'm just telling you. The 9th verse of the Samsara, it says, one who with great care and alteration loudly recite the beautiful prayer to the spiritual master during Brahma Muhurta obtains direct service to Krishna, the Lord of the Vrindavan, at the time of his death. So, why we ask you to recite loudly? Because it's exciting. When do you sing loudly? Huh? You sing all this song when you are excited. When you start to sing soberly, when you are very sad. But he said, sing out loudly. Sangsara Dava. So after that, Krishna will be like so pleased with you. Yes, he gives you the mercy. Then you start to worship the Tulsi Maharani again. Then after that, you start to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So at that moment, Srimati Radharani will start to pay attention on you because he is with Krishna and Krishna is looking at you. Example, when you and your wife or your husband going for sightseeing, when your husband look at a tree and there's a parrot, and you also will go along with your husband to look at the tree with a parrot. You know, just imagine both of you are taking a stroll, you're holding the hand, walking, suddenly you just say, hey, can you see the parrot there? Both husband and wife will be looking at that. But after that, what happened? Husband will be one corner, wife will be in one corner. Wife will do a chores, and the husband will carry on with his duty. And like that, there's no way that they can be unitedly looking at something. But at Brahma Muhurta, after the Parakyaras, after the Krishna in great ecstasy, when you do this Mangalarati, when Krishna look at you, Radharani also will glance at you. Can you see this boy? Can you see this person? And Radharani says, wow, why Krishna? Why not just liberate him? When Radharani says, nothing in this whole entire creation matters to Krishna. That's why Brahma Muhurta very important. And that's why Guru is very important. So, Guru knows your heart. Guru is actually your Krishna incarnation in the form of a human being. Okay, coming to the point. So, when you talk about external energy, energy of the external is Prakriti, energy of the marginal is Jiva, energy of the internal is Ladini. Then what is that energy of mercy? Energy of mercy is Guru. That's why when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came down here, he took the form of sannyas. He could be just being a grasta and teach. No, he came in the form of sannyas. Because sannyas means it's Guru. They're usually teaching. They got nothing else to do in life. So like that. So like this, what happened? When Narada was smiling, because he knew very well, okay, he knew well, right, that great sage Vyasadeva, and what is the cause of his disappointment? All right. Then, as he will explain gradually, Vyasadeva's disappointment was due to insufficiency in presenting the signs of devotional service. Even how great, how wonderful we are, we still must be in the shelter of Guru. Because now you see, Narada knew the defect, and it was confirmed by the position of Vyasa. So Narada knew the defect. So what is the job of Guru? To give us instruction. Okay. So like that, we will learn. Okay. Now there's some photos here. Okay, this is the thing that we have read that day when all the girls were bathing naked, and when Sutta Goswami, this is Sutta Goswami, Sukadev Goswami came, all of them didn't pay attention, but when Vyasadeva came, everybody started to cover their self, right? Okay, page 195, we read that. And now here, Narada Muni appearing in front of Vyasadeva. Okay. So this is the thing, and the swan-like spiritual advance do not take pleasure in date literature. Okay. Narada. So all these things. Is the original CV, the both hand jewel. Okay, Ashwatthama. All right, this is we study in the following chapter. All right. Now, okay, let's look at the text 2. Text 2. Narada Vacha Parasharya Mahabhaga Bhavata Kachid Atmana Paritushyati Sharira Atma Manasa Evava Parasarya Mahabhaga Bhavata Kachit Atmana Paritushyati Sharira Atma Manasa Evava. Narada said, Vacha Parasarya, the son of Parasara Muni, Mahabhaga, the greatly fortunate, Bhavata, your Kachit, if it is Atmana, by the self-realization, Paritushyati, does it satisfy? Sharira, identify the body, Atma, self, Manasa, identifying the mind, Cha, certainly, Va, and Translation, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Addressing Vyasadeva, the son of Parasara, Narada required, are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as objects of self-realization? Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So now, after smilingly saw Vyasadeva, and just try to imagine, he just asked a question. Smilingly, he said, addressing Vyasadeva, he said, oh, the son of Parashara. Narada inquired, are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as the object of self-realization? Right? So that's the first question that sometimes we also, when we preach, that's the first thing that we should remember. So the question is, we should also ask ourselves, am I satisfied by identifying with the body? Okay, I am this, I am that. Am I satisfied, or the mind as the object? Okay, so that's the first question that he asked. So this was a hint by Narada to Vyasadeva regarding the cause of his despondency. So they say it's a hint. And of course, Prabhupada writes here, this is the cause of all our despondency. All our anxiety, suffering, stress is all because of this. My family, my wife, identifying with the body. Because the bodily identification never give you pleasure, but only give you frustration. There's a lot of frustration in relationship. There's a lot of frustration in a transaction, in dealing. Okay, if you really look at it, there's nothing seems to be very exciting in this material world. Right? When the poor man, okay, once there's one of very famous businessmen in Old Klang Road. I mean, in Klang. What place is that? They call you know, the Klang, Little India, what they call it? Little India, yes. Little India. In Little India, Klang, there's one of the very successful businessmen. I don't mention his name, it's very well known. One day, I had a chance to meet him along with my friend, Dina Anunkampan Prabhu. At that time, I was, I think should be around 19 or 20, if I'm not mistaken, around that age, early 20s. And he was so rich. He was so rich. He is supposed to be a doctor, but the father passed away. So you have to come back to continue his father's grocery business. All right, he is a medical dropout student, and to bring up the brothers. And eventually, after he created an empire, big business, until they opened up many branches, then eventually he started to have a big fight and quarrel among the brothers. The company became segregated. But before that, he told me, but before that happened, we went and saw him because he was in great trauma, because that time everything is cash deal. So he took some cash and I went to the bank. Of course, big business, the grocery. He went to the bank and he was robbed and assaulted. Ever since then, he became very paranoid. He became very paranoid. So at that moment, I remember he told me, Punithan, never aspire to become a rich man. When we had nothing, our life was so sublime and beautiful. But now I have everything, but I have lost the most essential part. Peace of mind, happiness, love. Then I was thinking in my heart, yeah, you're already rich, you can talk like this. But I'm not rich. But as we get older, so you see, so identifying with the body. He worked so hard, built the business until it became a household name. A very successful business. But the business scattered. I think 2 weeks ago, I think last week, that day when during the opening ceremony of SGMKL, the installing of Sri Sri Radha Gokula Chandra was Sunday. So on Saturday, I was there in Klang. I went there to visit my aunt. I went and saw the shop. The name also changed. So I can feel the business has even further scattered. So nothing in this world can give us happiness. So Vyasadeva, as the descendant of Parashara, a greatly powerful sage, had the privilege of having great parentage, first of all. He had a privilege having a great parentage. All right? Great parentage is very, very important. All right? The great parentage is not to say like, I born in this particular caste. No. Because parentage is very, very important, because we are here today because of our parents who brought us up so nicely. Okay. And my father is not a devotee and he's a first-class karmi. And yet he brought us up. So now when you talk about command in English, the way that I speak English, all this because of him. Right? He told me, you can fail anything except English. If you know how to speak, you can survive everywhere in the world. So he was hammering me on the language. So like that. So what I'm saying is, so what Narada is telling, so what's the problem with you? You came from a great family. And who? The son of Parashara Muni, the greatly powerful sage. We should not have given Vyasadeva cause of despondency. So there shouldn't be, just like the son of a millionaire should not have lamentation, not enough money. He can just feel a carefree life. So being a great son of a great father, he should not have identified the self with the body and the mind. That's the thing. So he proper writes. So being the great son of a great father, first of all, because his father is a sage, he should not identify the self with the body and the mind. So ordinary men, proper writes, ordinary men, all right, with poor fund of knowledge, who don't have proper knowledge, he can identify the body as self or the mind as self. Okay, but Vyasadeva should not do that. So one cannot be cheerful, proper writes, one cannot be cheerful by nature unless one is factually seated in self-realization. So without self-realization, there's no, person cannot be cheerful, cannot be happy, which is because the factually seated, because which is transcendental to the material body of the mind. All right, let's look at the text 3 now. Jignashitam shusham susampannam apite mahadadbhutam. Sorry. Jignasitam susampannam apite mahadadbhutam krittavan bharadam yastvam swartha paribramhirhitam. Translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Your inquiries were full and your studies were also well fulfilled. And there is no doubt that you have prepared a great and wonderful work, the Mahabharata, which is full of all kinds of Vedic sequences elaborately explained.
Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So he asked, your inquiry was full. Your inquiry was full. And your studies were also fulfilled, well fulfilled. What they call Narada Muni telling Vyasa. First of all, your inquiry were full. That means you're fully inquired. Then your studies, your scholarship is also well fulfilled. Okay. And there is no doubt that you have prepared a great and wonderful work. The spiritual master is, praising the disciple. You have done a great and wonderful work, which is called the Mahabharata. Because in that book is full of all kinds of Vedic sequences, elaborately explained. But again, it's explained in a story form, right? So nowadays you see a lot of story books, right? Like Krishna storybook and all this, like that. So it's a well done job. So now Prabhupada writes that the despondency of Vyasadeva was certainly not due to his lack of sufficient knowledge. Right? Despondency, that means it's not because he don't have enough knowledge. Because as a student, he had fully inquired about the Vedic literature. And a result of which the Mahabharata was compiled with full explanation of the Vedas. Text 4. Jignashitam aditam cha brahmayaktat sanatanam tatapya shochasyatmanam akirtartha iva prabho. Right? So, translation. Please read the translation.
You have fully delineated the subject of impersonal Brahman as well as the knowledge derived therefrom. In spite of all this, why should you be despondent, thinking that you are undone, my dear Prabhu?
Okay, now, so now in this verse, Narada Muni is addressing Vyasadeva. He said, you have fully delineated the subject of impersonal Brahman, as well as the knowledge of derived therefrom. So delineated means is fully explained, thoroughly explained. The subject of what? The first subject of Brahman, impersonal Brahman. Brahman means impersonal. The first step of understanding. And as well as the knowledge derived therefrom. What are the things that you just think? What are the knowledge that you derive from there? In spite of all these, why you should be despondent, thinking that you're undone, my dear Prabhu? So the Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra compiled by Sri Vyasadeva is the full deliberation of the impersonal absolute feature. So we understand like this. Prabhupada writes, the Vedanta Sutra or the Brahma Sutra. That means the Vedanta Sutra is the one that's a summary of the entire Vedas. I hope you all can remember that. Vedanta Sutra, also known as Brahma Sutra. Okay, Vedanta Sutra is also known as Brahma Sutra because the word is all. All means also known as Brahma Sutra. Okay, it was compiled by Vyasadeva as the summary of the entire four Vedas. And in that, okay, is the full deliberation. There's full deliberation of the impersonal absolute feature. Full deliberation means it's fully deliberated, fully explained, mentioned the impersonal feature of the Lord, Brahman. Okay, and it is accepted as the most exalted philosophical exposition in the world. So it has been accepted. It has been received as the very great philosophical exposition. It covers the subject of eternity and the method are scholarly. So what it covers? This covers the subject of eternity. Sat Chit. Okay, Sat. Sat means knowledge. Chit. Sat means eternal. We are talking about Sat, S-A-T, Sat. Subject of eternity, and the method that given is very scholarly. So there cannot be any doubt about the transcendental scholarship of Vyasadeva. So why you should lament? Prabhupada asked. Text 5. Vyasa uvacha, Vyasa uvacha, astyeva me, astyeva me sarvam idam tvayoktam, tatapi natma paritushyati me, tanmulam avyaktam agada bodham, prachamahe tvatma bhavatma bhutam. Vyasa said that Iva, certainly me, mine, sarva, all, idam, this, tvaya, by you, uktam, uttered, tatapi, and yet. So tatapi in Malay, we call tatapi. You know, in Malay, we use the word tatapi. You got the tatapi. Tatapi means and yet. So it's a Sanskrit word, tatapi. Not atma, self, paritushyate, does specify, me, unto me, may. That of which, moolam. Moolam means we understand it's root, avyaktam, undetected, agada bodham, the man of unlimited knowledge. Prachamahe, do inquiry. Tva, unto you, atma bhava, self-born, atma bhuta, offspring. Translation. Come on, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Harish.
Sri Vyasadeva said, all you have said about me is perfectly correct. Despite all this, I am not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. For you are a man of unlimited knowledge due to your being the offspring of one Brahma who is self-born, without mundane father and mother. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. So now, then Vyasadeva replied to the spiritual master. What he said, all you have said about me is perfectly correct. But despite all this, I am still not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction. Again, so what happened? He's putting an inquiry towards his spiritual master. He's asking, please tell me, my Lord, because you are a man of unlimited knowledge. Spiritual master is a man of unlimited knowledge due to of your being an offspring of one Brahma. Okay, offspring of one. Because you born through Lord Brahma, and at the same time you're self-born. That means you're born without a mundane father and mother. It's a direct creation of Lord Brahma. Okay, the purpose. In the material world, everyone is engrossed with the idea of identifying the body and the mind with the self. That is the what everyone is engrossed. As such, all knowledge is disseminated in the material world is related either with the body or the mind. Yes or not? Everything in this world, we only know either this one, either the body or the mind. And that is the root cause, Prabhupada writes, of all despondency. Can you imagine? That's the root cause. If you think, when you look at yourself in the mirror and just ask yourself, am I happy? No, I am not. Why? Because you're relating because the issue, okay, like for instance, a great doctor will check your pulse, Ayurvedic, and will see what actually gone wrong. They call kappa, vayu, kappa, what is it, Mataji? Saki Mataji, the three things? Kappa,
Pita, Vayu.
Kappa, Pitta, Vayu. So when the Kaviraj or the traditional doctor, Ayurvedic doctor, when you have a problem with kappa, solve the kappa, all your problems solved. Or you have a problem with Vayu, that means you solve the Vayu problem, all your entire problem solved. And kappa, Vayu, and Pitta. You have Pitta, Pittam in the body. So you just solve. So that is the expert. I mean, the root cause of all the disease in the body can be only from these three. So similarly, the root cause of our anxiety and suffering in this world is only because of these two. Either it's bodily or the mind. All right. Now I want to ask you a question, because this is what I was meditating this morning. All right. I just off this for a while. Now, Prabhus and mothers, I just want to ask you. I hope somebody can unmute and talk to me. Now the question is this. After you sleep, after you go to bed at night, when you wake up in the morning, when you feel like chanting, do you feel the struggle? Anyone? Or just straight away start chanting and this thing?
கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருக்கும் bro. Starting trouble இருக்கும்.
கஷ்டமா இருக்கு.
Starting trouble. அப்புறம் பண்ணா சைடு ஓகே ஆயிடும்.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Just like the car, when you start the car is cold. So the car will be like trembling. But after the thing gets heated up, it goes smoothly. Yes. All right. Why did I ask this question? I want to say something. So when you look at this, every day after a deep sleep, when you wake up in the morning, you forget everything. We also study this in Canto 5. This is how I was meditating. Why Brahma forgets everything after you wake up. So now the thing is, every time we sleep, we go into deep sleep. When the next day when we wake up, we forget everything. We wake up, then we take our bath, we just remember our sadhana. Then after that, we start to chant. Of course, when you start to do everything, it's like jerking, like very hard. After we take a deep sleep, we even forget what was the activity we did yesterday. Yes or no? Yesterday, what I did from the morning till we forget. So sleep is an ignorant situation where you forget everything. And when you start on the brand new day, you start your day as a brand new person, a new birth, a new day. You don't need to wait for the new year. Actually, every single day is a brand new day. And you start your brand new day in a brand new way. And today I got a fantastic things that I shared in the group just now. Vaishi Shekhar Prabhu. He shared a very nice article. He said, always don't write what you want to do. Write down what you do not want to do. So I got that idea. So now every single day when we wake up in the morning, write down what are the things that you don't want to do. Okay, write down the things that you don't want to do. Today, I don't want to sleep in the afternoon. Example, today, I don't want to take dinner after 7 p.m. Okay, today, I do not want to drink cold water if you're addicted to cold water. So what you don't want to do? Today, I don't want to be distracted in chanting. Because every single day when we wake up, we basically forget everything. So every morning, just what they call meditate on something that you don't want to do, right? Because every time whenever we relate ourselves with the bodily and the mind, we usually forget what actually went wrong. After today, we understand, okay, the bodily relationship, this and that, so you want to try it. But when you go to bed, you forget everything. Because we are stuck in the body and the mind. So it's very hard for us to not to identify with bodily relationship and the relationship through the mind. Right? So when you look at this verse here, that's what Prabhupada writes here. He says, that is, all knowledge disseminated by the material related to the body and the mind. But we are trying to practice sadhana bhakti, which is above that body and the mind. And the body and the mind is the root cause. So every morning when you get up, please at night before you go to bed, please do your journaling. And first thing you wake up in the morning, try to think what are the things that you do not want to do. Then thinking what you want to do. Because when a person is either related either with the body and the mind, and that is the cause of all kind of anxiety in life. So Prabhupada writes here, this is not always detected. That's why I was talking about this. I said, first thing when you go to sleep, you forget everything. Wow. I was meditating on this. Now Prabhupada's purport is saying about this. Wow. So this is not always detected. It cannot be detected, Prabhus and mothers. It cannot be detected. Please underline the statement. It is not always can be detected. Very, very distinct. Okay? And despite, even though the one may be the greatest erudite scholar of the materialistic knowledge, even how great scholar you are, how great you are, it is very hard to detect. That's why I'm saying, write down what happened today, whether it's a happy feeling or unhappy feeling, just write it down. Then try to contemplate, right? Like that day, one boy was telling, that was a kind of awakening. Sometimes he's telling, Prabhu, in front of you, I'm talking so nicely, but in my heart, I have some kind of anarthas. So you can, so every of your act has to be detected. Okay? And next day, it has to be corrected. Detect your problem. Next day morning, write down what are the things you don't want to do. Even you cannot avoid not to do the unwanted things, but at least you are aware. Eventually, the thing you start to reduce until you are out of it. But of course, we have millions and millions of things. Once this one give up, the new thing will come in. Right or not? When this one is gone, new things will come in. When this problem is solved, new problem. It's eternal. But the thing is, again, we always must tell ourselves, I am not going to relate anything with my body and the mind. Because relating with the body and the mind, it creates a lot of trouble. Yesterday, I was in a parade and I met a friend who I hated him for so many years, my schoolmate. All this while, never, he was my very close childhood friend from standard 1, very dear friend. After that, when he comes to Form 4, secondary 4, secondary 5, we will never get, and never liked him. I think I should say for the last 30 years, like we never talked to each other. So after start to apply that this and that, everything's bodily and everything. When I met him in the parade at the escalator, When he saw me, he looked at me in a shock, but I looked at him in great excitement. I just, hey, Edwin, how are you? After talking to him and everything, then I started to think, hey, I'm supposed not to like him. So what I'm saying is, when you can practice this, even you without realizing, you can create this kind of harmonic situation. Because this kind of agitation, it is going to be the impediment to your path to your success, even in material life or even in spiritual life. So Prabhus and mothers, by me, I mean, because I always do research. I'm always very alert what is happening, and I always relate. I'm a good observer. I mean, not to say good observer, I'm an observer. I observe. Until the person that I think that betrayed me, until the person who I think that reason there's some issues, the temper, it is just, I can't even remember it. So when I talk about it, as though like nothing happened. But even there's an injury deep in the heart. But the intelligence will heal the heart. So this is very important in practice sadhana bhakti, because to practice sadhana bhakti, you must have absolute peace of mind. So that's it. So there's a proper root cause of all despondency when we start to identify with the body and the mind. Technically, theoretically, okay, we can talk. But how to apply it? Again, I'm telling you, make your journal every day. You don't need to write a story. It's not, you're not writing a diary. You are doing an inner engineering. And next day morning when you wake up, add on this, because this is what I was my meditation this morning. Right? After seeing that Vaisheshika Prabhu said this thing. Do not write what you want to do. Write down, jot down what you don't want to do. That's a fantastic statement. What you don't want to do. Okay, I'm going to try it. So I hope you all try and see what happens. So now it is good, therefore, to approach a personality like Narada to solve the root cause of all despondency. Why Narada should be approached is explained below. Savai Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhyam Upasito Yat Purusha Purana Paravaresho Manasaiva Vishvam Srajatyavatya Gunair Asanga. Translation, please. Go on quickly.
My Lord, everything that is mysterious is known to you because you worship the creator and destroyer of the material world and the maintainer of the spiritual world, the original personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, thank you. So when you look at this verse, see the few of the key points. Why? So they say, my Lord, everything is mysterious known to you. Why? Because in this verse, when you see, okay, samasta, that means Veda samasta. That means he all inclusive. That means he knows everything. Then Guhyam, he knows the confidential part. And Upasita is a devotee yet because Purusha, the person who got it, Purana, and he's the oldest. Paravaresha, the control of the material spiritual world, Manasa, mind, Eva, only Vishwam, the universe, Srijati, creates, Avati, Ati, annihilates, Gunai, by the qualitative method, Gunai, and Asanga, unattached. So, I mean, Vyasadeva is addressing, my Lord, everything that is mysterious is known to you. What is it? Everything. He's not saying something. He said everything that is mysterious is known to you. Okay, why it is mysterious? Now, when you look at this Bhagavatam, and like we have been reading all the books in our previous attempt, we read a lot of books, but how come whenever we read, as we get older, I mean, we get more and more matured in bhakti, we are understanding in a different way. That's why it's mysterious. It can never be explained. There's no scientific evidence or can be explained psychologically. Some say, oh, as you get older or as you get more cleverer, you start to see things in a different way. No. That means all the professors, all the great scholars, great poets should have understood all this. And they didn't know. They did not understand. So that's why I say everything mysterious is known to you. Why? Because You worship the creator and the destroyer of the material world, the personality of Godhead, and the maintainer of the spiritual world, the original personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. So, what we can take away from here? He said, my Lord, every mysterious is known to you. All right, we are not going to that level, but we are talking about every mystery is known to you. And all these things is possible because you worship the creator, the destroyer, the original personality of Godhead. So that's why when we start to worship Krishna, it is known as Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is equivalent to Buddhi Yoga. All right? Please mark this statement. I'm going to write it here. Bhakti Yoga is equivalent to Buddhi Yoga. Okay. So this is very important. Bhakti Yoga is equivalent to Buddhi Yoga. So we are talking about if you practice Bhakti Yoga, is equal to Buddhi Yoga. So when we go into practice, that's why Krishna says, I reveal the thing. Right? One of that Chatur Sloki. I dwell in the heart. I will, with the torch of the knowledge, I'll remove the darkness born out of ignorance. Can anyone remember the sloka? I think it's a 10.9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think text 12. Anyone got a Gita with you? 10.9, 10, 11, 12. 10.12. I got a Gita. No, 10.11. 10.11, right? Come on. Anybody? Anybody knows? Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu?
Yes, Babu.
What is the verse?
Which one are the 8,
Huh?
9, 10, and 11, Babu?
Yes, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, correct. 8, 9, 10, 11. The 4 Chatur Sloki.
Yeah.
The last sloka is what?
Tesam evana kampartam aham ajnana tanjam tama nasiyami atma bhavasto jnana dipena basvada.
Bhavasya, right. Read the translation.
This one is my recording now.
Ah,
I can read for you, Babu.
yeah, please.
10, 11. Give me a minute, Babu.
Yeah.
I can read, Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Perfectly.
To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
Yes, very nice. Right? So now, oops, what's happening? Oh, sorry. All right. All right. Oh, yeah. What has gone wrong? Click the wrong button. Okay. So now what it says, Tesham, to them, Eva, certainly, Anukampa Artham. Anukampa Artham. That means to special mercy. Aham, I. Ajnanajam. Ajnanajam means due to ignorance. Ajnana means, jnana means knowledge. Ajnana means ignorance. Okay. What ignorance? That is born out of ignorance. Tamaguna. Ignorance. All right. Darkness. Tama means darkness. Nasayami. Nasamakirve. Destroy, dispel, remove. Nasayami. Nashayami. Okay, what is that? Atma Bhava. Within their heart. Atma Bhava, ecstatic, right? Sta, situation, jnana of knowledge. Deepena, deebam. You know the fire, the light, deebam. Okay, with the light, Bhaspata, glowing. So what Krishna says in that Bhagavad Gita 10.11, last verse of Chatur Shloki, he says that to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in the heart, that I stays in your heart, I destroy the shining lamp. He will bring the lamp, தீபம், அதாவது வாழ்க்கையில விளக்கேத்தி வைப்பாராம். இருளான மனதில் விளக்கேத்தி வைப்பார் பகவான். Okay. What light is this? What deeper? What light? Light of knowledge. Okay. The lamp of knowledge. And it destroys the darkness which is born of ignorance. So that's the thing. So now when you look at this verse here, in this verse it says like same thing. It says that he says my okay, where is it? Okay. He says my everything mysterious. That means everything is mysterious. Everything is mysterious. We don't understand mystery. But when we worship Krishna, the creator, when we worship the creator or the original personality of Godhead, Krishna will come and enlighten you from the heart, from the core of the heart. Okay, so we understand from here, right? So now we look at the purport here. A person who is 100% engaged in the service of the Lord. 100% means 100%. Is the what? Is the emblem of all knowledge. Please underline this first statement. A person who is 100%, if you are 100%, you're absolutely engaged in the service of the Lord, he is the emblem of all knowledge. I mean, he's the one that is the acquirer or the knower of all knowledge. Prabhupada writes again, such a devotee of the Lord in full perfection of devotional service, such devotee of the Lord who is in full perfection, fully perfect in devotional service, is also perfect by qualification. Of what? Of the personality of Godhead. Oh my God, what is this? So we're talking about, that means a devotee, such a devotee is full perfection in devotional service. When you perfect a devotional service, he is also perfect by qualification of the personality of Godhead. That means according to the qualification of personality Krishna, you are also perfect. In Bible says no one is perfect. Because we have the defect to be illusion, to make wrong decision, to make mistake, to cheat, tendency to cheat, all these kind of, we have defects. But here Prabhupada writes, the Shastra says, you can become perfect if you simply serve the all-perfect Lord. Okay? So once we become a pure devotee, we become perfect. As such, the eightfold perfection of the mystic yoga, Ashta Siddhi, constitute a very little of his godly opulence. Ashta Yoga, Astanga Yoga, Ashta Siddhi, 8 kind of mystic power. I mean, no, you can be smaller than the smallest, you can become bigger than the biggest, you can become lighter than the lightest. From here, you're sitting, whoop, your hand can go and reach somewhere and take this thing, all this kind of mystic city. Lagima, Halima, something like that. Okay, I can't remember the names. Right? So like that. So it's all godly. It's all godly. A devotee like Narada can act wonderfully by his spiritual perfection, actually, which every individual is trying to attain. Sri Narada is a 100% perfect living being, although not equal to the personality of God. Even it's not equal, he is considered 100% perfect. All right. Now let's do the text 7. All right. Text 7. Tvang paryatannarka iva trilokim antascharo vayur ivatma sakshi paravare brahmani dharmato vratai snatasya menyunam alang vichakshva. Tvam, your goodness, paryatam, traveling, arka, the sun, iva, like 3 lokim, 3 world, antachara, can penetrate. He is antachara, that means he can penetrate into everyone's heart. Vayu iva, as good as the all-pervading air, vayu, katir. Atma, self, sakshi, witness, paravare, in the matter of cause and effect, brahmani, in the absolute, dharmata, unto disciplinary regulation, vratai. Vratai means vow. Snatasya, having been absorbed in me, mind, Nyunam, deficiency, alam, clearly, vichakshva, search out. Translation, please.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Hare Krishna. Oh, you guess when you're here.
I joined late, bro.
Yeah.
Like the sun, your godness can travel anywhere, everywhere in the three world, and like the air, you can penetrate the internal region of everyone. As such, you are as good as all-pervasive super soul. Please, therefore, find out the deficiency in me, despite my being absorbed in transcendence under disciplinary regulation and vows. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now, Vyasadeva is asking his guru. He said, like the sun, right? So what is the sun? Okay, Arka. The word is Arka, the sun. Arka, go ahead and the name the sun. Arka, like the sun, your goodness can travel everywhere. What does that mean? Because the sun is in, when the sunshine can go everywhere. Okay. How can travel everywhere in the three worlds? That means upper planetary, lower planetary, middle planetary. You can simply travel everywhere like the sun, because the light travels everywhere, right? And then after that, Vyasa says, then like the air, you can penetrate into internal region of everyone. You can even go into everyone's heart like the air. Like the sun, you can travel everywhere. So like Vaishnava Prabhu? Okay. Right, okay. So like the sun, you can travel everywhere, and like the air, you can penetrate into the internal region. That means sun can go everywhere, but the air can enter into the individual, internal religion of everyone. As such, you are as good as all pervasive super soul. You are as good as all pervasive super soul. So what we can understand from here, from all pervasive super soul? Chaitya Guru. Anyway, I don't go into the details, very, very heavy detail. Please, therefore, he says, please, therefore, find out the deficiency in me. Please find out the deficiency in me, despite my being absorbed in transcendence under the disciplinary regulations of forms. I need to mark this verse, because I need to, I'm doing one thesis. Mark this thing. What yes, addressing Narada. Verse 7, 1.5.7. Right. So as okay. So now, so please therefore find out the deficiency in me. Go deep into my heart and find out. Okay. Despite me being absorbed in transcendence under disciplinary regulationary vow. So now, Prabhupada translates. We give a purport: transcendental realization, pious activities, and worshipping the deities, charity, merciful, non-violence, studying the scripture under the strict disciplinary regulations are always helpful. All right. It's a very straightforward. Because here, I just want to do research about this, about what he says that when he identify as all pervasive super soul, right? Anyway, let me do some research and I get back to you on this. Anyway, so now let's look at text 8. After addressing all this, now Narada Muni is now addressing, now he's replying to Vyasadeva. Sri Narada Vacha Bhavata Nuditta Prayam Yasho Bhagavato Malam Yenaiva Sauna Tushyeta Manyeta Darshanam Magilam. Sri Narada Vacha Bhavata, and you Anuditta Prayam. That means almost not praised. Anuditta Prayam. Okay. Almost not phrase, okay, right? Yasha, glories. Bhagavata, the personality of Godhead. Amalam, spotless. Okay, the word is malam, but because there's apostrophe, we just say A. There's a Bhagavato, O and A. So Bhagavato malam. So it's called amalam, spotless. Yena, by which Eva, certainly Asa, he, personality of Godhead. Tushyeta, be pleased. Manye, I think. Darshanam, philosophy. Kilam, inferior. So, translation, please.
Sri Narada said, "You have not actually broadcast the sublime and the spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy, which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord, is considered worthless."
All right. So, here the translation. Sri Narada said, you have actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. Yes. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. Right? Did you all hear me saying? Do you find any mistakes in my reading?
Yes.
What is that?
You didn't say you have actually, you said. Actually, it is you have not actually broadcast.
Correct. Wonderful. Wonderful. How many of you paid attention to what I say? I just want to find out. So now,
I realize.
all realize, huh? Okay, good. Very good. Yes. So now what he says, you have what? Have not. You have not actually broadcast, which is the sublime and the spotless glories. That's why when we do as a group studies, we will not make any mistakes. I mean, by God's grace, I hope the Maya Devi is still strong. My dear Maya Devi, please be merciful to all of us. Please remove the illusion when we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, at least. So, sublime, spotless glories. Right? That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental sense is considered worthless. That's why we are always advised not to study some nonsense things. Of course, in school books, we study right? But the thing is, when you want to read newspaper, you want to read this novel and all this kind of nonsense, particularly absolute waste of time because the message of Godhead is not there. All right? This is a kind of quite a long paper. I think we can do it now. The eternal relation of an individual soul, please remember, and the supreme soul is constitutionally one of being the eternal servitor and the eternal master. Nice or not? The way Prabhupada writes, genius. First of all, we are talking about the eternal relationship of an individual soul, jiva, which is the individual. Individual means you have individuality. You are not a random, you are not the merge, you're not this thing. You have individuality, individual soul. And with the supreme soul, Paramatma, personality of Godhead, is constitutionally means what? It is the standard, that is a purlamba, we talk about that can never be changed. Constitution is something that you can never change. So the originally is one of being, that means you are being the eternal servant of the eternal master. That's all. That is the eternal relationship of an individual jiva with Supreme Lord personality, with Paramatma, is constitution, can never be changed. In other words, you can never be a master. The reason that we are stuck here because we want to be master. We want to rule. We want to become a Ishvara. Okay. So now, the Lord has explained himself as living beings. in order to accept loving service from them. What happened here? The Lord expanded himself as what? As a living being. That means what? As a human form. Living being. In order to accept the loving service from them. And these alone can satisfy both the Lord and the living beings. So he expanded as a living being so that he can take service from you. Right? So a scholar like Vyasadeva has completed many expansions of the Vedic literature. He has completed, ending with Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta philosophy means what? First of all, he have completed many expansions, but ending, final expansion is Vedanta Sutra. So remember that. Eh? Now, but none of them have been written directly. None of them written directly what? On glorifying the personality of Godhead. Prabhupada writes, dry philosophical speculation, dry. That means you read, you don't get pleasure. Even on the transcendental subject of the absolute, have very little attraction without directly dealing with the glorification of the Lord. Okay, without what? Without a direct dealing. Right? So dry philosophical speculation, even is a transcendental subject, even is a transcendental. Right? It has a very little attraction without directly dealing with the glorification of the Lord. So now, that's why you see so many people, after they get connected with Krishna consciousness, they get so much of attraction, they feel so relished and nourished. Yesterday, after the class, I got a call from the police station. A policeman wanted to come to our temple, ISKCON temple, to check it out. Because we are international society. They're asking, what does it mean by international? After 40 over odd years, now only they want to find out what is ISKCON. So I went there and they said, okay, why is a white man there? The what they call the Western body devotees are coming to this country. They are distributing books. What is it all about? Is it legal? Is it according to? I said, yeah, that's what our religion is all about. But anyway, before that interrogation, he said he wants to meet outside. And he said, he gave me an option. Shall we meet in your premises or shall we meet outside? I say, I prefer to meet you in the temple. Please come. So these two young boys came. Two young Indian boys along with two young Malay policemen. Four of them came. When I just saw their expression. When they walked in, they were, oh, the eyes, the expression, wow feeling. After all the thing finished, the two Malay guys went off. And these two Indian boys came, took darshan of Narsingadev, our Balaji, then took darshan of our Paramakaruna. They were just standing there. They came. And I sat in such a way that they faced the devotee and I faced them. So that means I'm saying behind me is the deity. So they couldn't concentrate in their interrogation or their investigation. They were looking at the deities, they're looking at me. They're looking at the deities, looking at me. Then, after that, after they sat kissing, then during that end, they were like, it doesn't look like a green police investigation interrogation. They were talking in so much of, what do you do? Oh, Krishna, all that. Then they saw the deities of Prabhupada. And they immediately when I said, this my spiritual master Jayapataka Swami is American. Then another spiritual master you can see is Bhakti Vigna Vinasa Narasingha Maharaj is a British. Oh, yes, Swamiji, yes. So they went and saw them, saw the photo of them. Then after that they came, they saw Prabhupada. They were like, couldn't believe. And they came and sat as a very obedient person. And I know, yes, they have taken the bait. After millions of births, Krishna throwing the bait, they have taken the bait. Yes. Then after that, I told them, so we understand. I said, so what is the cause of interrogation? No. Actually, they had some meaning, but they've totally forgotten their mission. After that, they said, don't worry. When is your next AGM? Can we come? When is the next program? Can we come? So I'm going to invite them for my Namahat program this Wednesday. Before left, I said, can I give you a book? Oh, yes, because they were looking at the book. They were like, can I? So I suggest you to start with Bhagavad Gita. Can. So I said, okay, let it be my gift. So I took Bhagavad Gita English. No, they say they wanted it in Tamil. So I took the two Tamil Bhagavad Gita and I put with the topmost yoga system. I said, take it as a gift. They say, no. They take the money and they actually pay me. I said, how much is that? No, it's a gift. Never mind, just at least keep some. Give 10 ringgit as a dakshina. Can you imagine policemen giving money, just like in India? No way you can take money from the police. But here, he gave the money and they were like, and you're keeping the book. And of course, I've taken a selfie with them, but they told me not to because they are in special branch. They're supposed to investigate, not join us and take selfie. That is what, dear Prabhus and mothers. Every aspect of devotional service, even when someone sees us with tilak, when someone come and takes our prasadam, when someone just come and see our Radayatra, when someone hears our kirtan, when someone takes our book, when someone comes to the temple and visit the deity, like nowadays, that the Indian, Hindus in Malaysia, they take a bus. It's like a pilgrimage tour. They go to all the temple. And one of the temple, they go to like Todu, our headquarters in Penang. Then after that, they come and stop by in Ipoh. So even they come on a random tour pilgrimage. Whenever they come and get connected with Bhakti Yoga, even it can be the most insignificant Bhakti Yoga, even a small dot of them, they will have a big wow feeling. Wow. They take prasadam, they say, my God, I've never eaten like this. Really, yeah. It doesn't taste good. Because our tongue is immune. But for a newcomer, a pakora, a kofta, it's like a greatest intoxication. It satisfies the tongue to the maximum and the tongue starts to vibrate at a high frequency. God, I've not eaten. What is this? Just a normal tanisar, right? You just take some vegetables and make it into a soup. All right? Vegetable soup, tanisar, with the rice and with some pakora, which is so insignificant. But when first time eating, it blows my head off. That was my first prasadam in my life. I can never forget. When I went there, it's just a tanisar, rice, and pakora. I mean, what they call pakora. That's all, nothing else. When I'm talking about it now, it's still my mouth is, because that was my first experience. And I had that, I said, wow, what is this? And Putri Prabhu and all were wondering, what is that happening? So, little attraction, even to the glorification of Krishna, the associated with Krishna, it is just like a rain in a desert-like mind. Our mind is so dry. It's just like a thunderstorm rain. It make your mind become wet. What is the thing? Dry and when the soil becomes wet, that's the one term. I forgot the term, English term.
Soggy.
Dry land. Huh?
Is it soggy, Prabhu?
No. That's more what? Mine is not coming. Anyway, so it's like a rain in the desert. So it feels like, that's why. So now, Sukati, Narayana is, Narada Muni is telling Vyasadeva, Prabhupada writes here. He's without direct dealing with the glorification of the Lord, there is no attraction, there's nothing so exciting about. The personality of Godhead is the last word in the transcendental realization. The absolute realized is impersonal Brahman or localized super soul. What is that? The absolute what? Can anyone tell me? That's a term. The absolute what? Come on. Absolute what?
Truth.
Truth. Correct. Absolute truth. So now let's look at this word again. Prabhupada is repeating it here again, right? See what he read. He said that, number one, he said that, first of all, the absolute. That means, in other words, the absolute truth. All right, is realized as impersonal Brahman. Right, that's the first thing. Or second is localized supersoul Paramatma. That is all called under absolute truth. But now what Prabhupada writes here, the last word in understanding the Vedas, starting from Bhagavad Gita, reading all the four Vedas and all that expansion. The last word in transcendental knowledge is the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead is the last word in transcendental realization. It's the last word. Okay, so that is the final realization of the Samam Bonam. All right. So now, the absolute realized or the absolute truth is realized as impersonal Brahman or localized soul or Paramatma is less productive of transcendental bliss, less productive than the Supreme Person realized of his glories. It's very powerful. So the compiler of the Vedanta Darshana is Vyasadeva himself. Yet he is troubled. Although he is the author. So what sort of transcendental bliss can derive by the reader and the listener of the Vedanta? What sort of transcendental bliss he can derive by the readers and the listeners of Vedanta, which is not explained directly by Vyasadeva, the author? Herein arises. So here arises what? The necessity of explaining the Vedanta Sutra in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam by the self-same author. So from others to try to understand what the author is saying, so directly the author was advised by his guru to speak about it. Right? Okay. That's 9. Right. So with this, we end the session here. Okay, we follow the following verses tomorrow. Just give me a second. Hello. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, it may sound silly, Prabhu.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between absolute truth and saying Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Okay.
But why sometimes he call absolute truth, sometimes he call Supreme Personality of Godhead? They are both the same, Prabhu?
Absolute truth means like a God is a very standard statement. Right? God is a very standard statement, right?
Yeah.
So God, we call Krishna, the Muslims call as Allah, they call Yahweh. It's a standard term. It's a standard term. Right? So when you talk about absolute truth, means the absolute truth is concise of these 3 things. One is Brahman realization. Second is Paramatma realization. And the third is absolute Bhagavan.
Okay, thank you.
This kind of thing is a like general statement.
Yeah.
And these 3 are Param Satyam. These 3 are absolute truth. The Brahman is absolute truth. The Paramatma is absolute truth. The Bhagavan is also absolute truth. But what the Shastra is telling, among these 3, the better choice is Bhagavan. Because you know him incomplete. You got it, Prabhu?
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Any comment? I think such a nice topic we have discussed. Of course, so we have done text 9. We're going to do it tomorrow because I need to go. My daughter is not feeling well. I have to go and fetch her from the school. So anyway, all right. So we'll meet again tomorrow on the 6th May. Tomorrow's what day? Wednesday. All right. Same time. We're going to continue our 9th chapter onwards. It's going to be even more and more interesting. Wow. It is becoming more and more addictive. I think tomorrow I think we can only do one, text 9, text 10, and most likely text 11, only 3 texts, because the meanings are so detailed. I have a lot of things I've marked here. Mission, so we can understand the mood and mission of Prabhupada and all these kind of things. All right. All right. So, Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Our great Acharya Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the ISKCON movement, Srila Worldwide Hare Krishna movement, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotee, and all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhudevacha patitanam pavinibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a nice, beautiful day. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu.